coming. Saturday morning, I hope you all have a great weekend, and hopefully this will give you some inspiration to use your Varoma a little bit more. So today I've got a few people on here that are very new to Thermomix, and I'm going to be going through some very basic steps as well for them. I've also got some wonderful consultants and some other customers as well that have had their Thermomix for a little while. So I'm hoping that I can get some tips for each of you to inspire you to use your Thermomix to its fullest potential. So I'm going to be using the Thermomix 6 today. I've also got a 5 in the back, so I'm going to be setting up some things and steaming them in the back so that I can show you a lot more functions rather than just watching something steam. Okay, so I'm just going to flip my video because I'm going to spotlight the video that's actually on my machine here. So I'm going to be sort of talking to this one more because I want you to see the function of the Thermomix. Okay, so first of all, as you can see on the screen, I've actually done my meal plan. So I've done that through cookiedoo.com.au, and I hope you're all registered for that. If not, you can register for a 30-day free trial. And then if you like what you see, there's over 50,000 recipes. You can download those onto your Thermomix 6 or through the Cook Key on a Thermomix 5. It is $49 a year for membership if you're not a member already. So that's cookiedoo.com.au. Okay, so it's all about the Varoma. So today, the Varoma is really the steaming function of your Thermomix. So we can do some layered cooking. We can cook soup, vegetables and meat all at the same time. We can also do lots of different desserts and cakes and things like that, which is what I want to show you this morning. So this morning I've made a white chocolate steamed cheesecake. And when I say to people that I've made that in my Thermomix in the Varoma, they sort of go, what do you mean? How do you do that? So first off the rank, I'm just going to show you some really good tips about Varoming putting a whole tin in your Varoma. So just taking the lid off. Remember to always remove the lid away from your face to let the steam escape. And I've just popped on some paper towel over the top, and that is literally just to absorb the steam. And here is, I'll just put that underneath because that's a little drip tray there. Here's my white chocolate steamed cheesecake. So as you can see, it's a beautiful height, and that is basically a biscuit base with cream cheese and white chocolate and vanilla. And all I've done is I've steamed it in here for about half an hour. So I'm just going to lift this out just so you can see what I've got in the bottom. So you'll see I've got these little egg rings. They're a great idea when you're using the Varoma for a big cake tin or even some smaller muffin tins like these. They actually fit perfectly in there, and you can steam sticky date puddings or lemon puddings or egg and bacon muffins or whatever you like. I find it a really good idea just to lift it off the bottom with a couple of egg rings. Or if you've got some chopsticks, put them across in a cross, and that just helps lift it off the base so you can see the air coming through the bottom of the Varoma. So I'll just show you, I'll just pop that here. I'll just show you one that's clean. So as I said before, you can see you've got the holes in the bottom. So that's where all the steam will come up to cook the vegetables, chicken, cakes, or whatever it is you've got in there as well. We then have what we call a tray. The tray literally just sits on top. And as you can see on the side here, there's extra holes along the side, which helps the steam come up if we're doing omelettes and that, which I'm going to show you later on. It's also got holes throughout the middle. If you're doing chicken or salmon and you don't want it to go through the rest of your food, you can put a wet piece of baking paper on there, and that'll hold all the drips of the meat. Very good for vegetarians or vegans if you're cooking for, you know, someone who doesn't want all the juices through their food. And then we've actually got the lid that literally just sits on top. So that's your Varoma. This little contraption you can use for a lot of things, and I'll show you more of those in a little while, but I just want to get started cooking on this Moroccan chicken first. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to go into my recipe here, which it's frozen. It's probably got something on the thing. I'll just go back. So I'll go into my week, Moroccan chicken, and here I can have a look at all the ingredients. So I can get them out already, and then I can just hit start cooking. I hope you can see that screen okay. It's asking me for Parmesan cheese. Now, as most of you know, most of my customers who I did a live for last week, I pre-do all my Parmesan and cheeses, so it actually helps me when I'm cooking. I can actually skip that step. So all I need to do is pop in 30 grams, which I'm going to do. In there. Hit next. It's asking me for 1 garlic. I'll just pop this cheesecake aside. 1 garlic clove. Insert measuring cup. Now, normally this would blitz down your Parmesan and your garlic together for 10 seconds. So because I've already done that, I'm just going to do it down to 5, just so I can blitz up that garlic. Okay, and we just do the next. Scrape down the sides, mix and bowl with the spatula. Now, as you all know, the spatula comes with the Thermomix. So there's our cheese and our garlic. And scraping down the sides, it's literally the spatula just coming down the side of the bowl, just like that. Okay. Next, it's asking me for 100 grams of sun-dried tomatoes. Now, these are all drained. I get mine from Aldi, and I find them absolutely delicious, and I have them on special quite a bit. Half a red capsicum in, 120 grams of raw cashews in, and 20 grams of olive oil. So what we're doing is we're actually making a dressing for our salad. So there's a lot of recipes for different dressings on Cookidoo, and it's great because you know exactly what's in your food. You don't have any preservatives or nasties. That's just some vinegar. Insert measuring cup. So when a recipe says insert measuring cup, it actually means pop the lid on with the measuring cup inside. Now with the Thermomix 6 that sits there, it doesn't fall out. With the Thermomix 5, you've just got to hold it in place because it does fly across the room sometimes. Now, turn speed selector 5 times. This function is called turbo. So we don't want to blend it right down, but we just want to chunk it out a little bit. So all we do is we turn the dial. This is really good because you can actually determine how thick or chunky you want it yourself. So let's have a look at what we've got. Look at this. There's another recipe I love, which is one of my favourites. It's called the sun-dried tomato and capsicum pesto dip. And oh my God, it is absolutely delicious. So that's going on to our scrape down sides. It's asking for some lemon juice. So just excuse me, I forgot that. I'll just get a little container here. So it's the juice of a couple of lemons, 2 to 3, depending on what you like. 50 grams of olive oil. Now I'm using garlic infused olive oil in this one because I love garlic. So you can add in whatever you want really if you've got some infused ones. Insert measuring cup and another 5 seconds. Transfer the dressing into a jug and set aside. So if you like your dressing a lot runnier, you can blitz it a bit more, or you can add a little bit more oil. I prefer it with a bit of chunk because it's going to go on top of my spinach. So I'm just going to transfer that into this bowl here. It's absolutely delicious. And this is basically almost a bit of a running dip, really. So as I said, the sun-dried tomato and capsicum dip is absolutely delicious, and I would highly recommend it if you haven't made it already. Okay, so there's that. Absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to pop that aside. Now, what's it asking me for? Clean and dry mixing bowl and place Varoma into position. Okay, so I'll pop this aside. I'm just going to quickly give it a quick rinse. That's what we do. There is a quick clean function on your Thermomix as well, which is really quick and easy. So as you can see, I'm just really rinsing this out really quickly. You smell that garlic, it's absolutely amazing. So if anyone's got any little tips or questions, just pop them in the chat for me, and I will try to answer them a little bit later on. So I can't actually see the chat at the moment. Okay. Place Varoma into position. Let's see what it's telling us to do. So here it is, our champion today. Pop that on. Weighing 400 grams of pumpkin. So I've got that here. And it's cut into little cubes. So I'm just going to literally throw that in the Varoma. 520 grams of chicken breast, which I've got right here. And this is also cut into little cubes. I'm just going to throw that in. Insert the Varoma tray. Can you see how we're actually layering it up already? So I'm just going to spread that chicken around a little bit so I can show you. So there's our pumpkin and our chicken. And another little tip I'll give you when you're using your Varoma, keep a hole in the centre. One, we want a lot of the steam to come through and cook all these beautiful vegetables and meat, and it just helps the steam come through a little bit. Insert Varoma tray and line with some baking paper. So, as I mentioned before, this is wet baking paper that I've just wrung out, and it's wanting me to line it on the top, like so. So we're going to be putting some couscous on here, and we don't want the couscous to go through the holes. So I'll just rinse that off and drain it. Another great way to use your Varoma is actually as a strainer for spaghetti or vegetables or anything like that. I'm missing something. I always miss something when I'm doing these lives. Anyway, here it is. We'll just drain off our couscous. So I use my Varoma when I'm draining off spaghetti bolognese or anything like that. And I'm just placing that on the top. Just going to spread that out so it's nice and even across. And I'll show you. So there's our couscous. So you can do that with cauliflower rice if you wanted to. Whichever you wanted to do really, it's up to you. So we've done that. Spread evenly over the Varoma tray, which we've done, and put the Varoma aside. So we've done that part of our cooking. I'm just going to pop it aside now because that's ready to go. Okay. Next. Coriander, I don't like, so I'm not having coriander. So we'll just skip that bit. It's one of those things you either love coriander or you don't. So here we go. So this is our sweet potato. So It's asking me for 520 grams of sweet potato. So, literally, I've already just cut it up. I didn't have enough in my fridge, so I'm actually using some carrot. And that's the beauty. You can use whatever you've got. So, that's going straight in. 130 grams of dried lentils. This is another great way to bulk out meals. Lentils, chickpeas, all those sorts of things. And you can put in less, like I've only got 70 there, but that's enough for me. And 1,250 grams of water. Hit tear. Another good little tip, if you put in hot water out of the kettle, it actually cuts back the cooking time a little bit because it doesn't take as long to heat it up. Which, mind you, it doesn't take long anyway, but, you know, if you can save 5 minutes, I think that's a really good thing. Okay. Now, I can see on our screen tonight, we've got Marion, which is one of my wonderful consultants up in Mildura. So I'm wondering if, Marion, if you can man the chat for me, if there's any questions or whatever. Just unmute yourself and jump in or answer them on the chat.
That will be my pleasure.
Thank you, love.
Yeah, no worries at all.
2 tablespoons of vegetable stock. Now, this vegetable stock is made up of bits and pieces out of your fridge. So the bits of the celery, the leaves that we don't normally use, the ends of the carrot, the peel of the pumpkin. I don't peel my veggies anyway, but if you did, you could use that. Stalks of the broccoli. This is what we make when we deliver your Thermomix. If you have run out, I would suggest you make some more because it is the base of a lot of our ingredients. So it is an absolute cracker of a recipe and it costs you next to nothing. So it's asking me for 2 tablespoons. They've also got recipes for chicken stock paste, which is absolutely beautiful. Bit of salt. And some pepper. Place a serving bowl onto mixing bowl lid. Now this is when things get a bit weird and you think, what are we doing here? So let's have a look, shall we? So it's literally step by step telling me what to do. There's my serving bowl. Put in some spinach. So I've got about 200 grams of spinach here. So this is going to be the base of our salad. So even though we're not cooking it in the Thermomix, this part of it, it actually tells us exactly what to do for the whole lot. So we're going to add in some dried cranberries, which are absolutely delicious. And set the bowl aside. So if you didn't want cranberries, you could use raisins or anything like that, whatever you wanted, which is fine. Hit next. So what we've done is, one, we've got our salad almost done, ready for our chicken. We've layered up our soup in here, which is pumpkin, sweet potato and carrot. We've actually got our couscous, our chicken, and our pumpkin in our Varoma ready to go. So it's asking me to secure that into place. And it literally just sits on top. There's no reason, it doesn't click anywhere, it doesn't move anywhere, it literally just sits on top. Hit next. Okay, so what it's doing now, it's telling me 17 minutes. Varoma temperature, which means it wants to heat up enough so that we're going to heat up our soup and the steam's going to go up through and cook through here on speed 1. So we literally turn the dial to speed 1. So that's going to take 17 minutes. So while that's doing, what I thought I would do today, I normally have 2 Thermomix 6s, but I've lent one out. So I've borrowed a Thermomix 5. So I'm going to transfer this onto the other one and I'm going to show you how to do an omelette. So just bear with me for one moment and please answer any questions in the chat or unmute yourself and come and say hi. Won't be a minute. This is the beauty of this recipe. You can do this. So I'm just going to stop it. Normally you would just transfer the bowls, but they, because one's a 5 and one's a 6, they don't actually transfer across. Put that on there. But the Varoma and everything does. So we can still use all that setup that we've already got here, and we can just turn the dial manually to the same temperature. So it's asking for 17 minutes on Varoma. What speed was it? Speed 1. Speed 1. That's going to sit there now over the back here and cook for us. So while I get ready for our omelette, which is an absolutely so simple, and it will be your go-to breakfast, believe me. Okay, I'll just bookmark that one. Who's done some layered cooking in their Varoma before? I know I do lots of things, dumplings, I put my yogurt in there, all sorts of things. Okay, so let's go back to our menu and we're going to do our omelette. Any questions, Marion, so far?
No, everyone's all very quiet so far.
Beautiful. Okay, once again, we're going to need that wet baking paper. This is a great little tip, and it sits on top of your Varoma. So I'll just move these aside. Because we don't want the egg to go through, the holes in our Varoma lid. So we literally, that's just a bit wet, and I'm just going to place that on the top. So it's still going to allow the steam to come through the sides, and it's still going to cook with steam coming up through the bottom. So that's the first instruction. Ensure baking paper goes all the way to the edges without blocking the air holes. So what I will do here, I'm just going to trim off a little bit of this, just so that the air holes aren't blocked. Like so. You can see the air holes coming up through here. Set aside, place 6 eggs in the bowl, which I've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A pinch of salt. We're actually whipping up the omelette as we speak. You can add whatever you like, whatever flavouring, herbs and spices, it's entirely up to you. I might actually put in a bit of just a bit of allspice just to spice it up a little bit. Okay, insert measuring cup. 6 seconds, speed 5. Literally, just turn the dial. Next. So what it's asking us to do is now to carefully pour the eggs onto the baking tray, which we've got ready to go, and set Varoma aside. So I'm going to do that. And that one, clean and dry mixing bowl, and add some cheddar cheese to it. I'm going to use Parmesan, so don't worry about that. Insert measuring cup, and skip that step. Okay. The next step it wants me to do is to chop up some red onion and some mushrooms and things to put on it. But I've actually got that ready to save us a little bit of time. So I've chopped down some pumpkin, red onion, I've got a bit of spinach. So we're just going to skip all through there. And this is a beauty, you can actually skip through your recipe and see whatever you want to do, which is fantastic. Okay, so now we're up to cooking the eggs. So it's asking me for 500 grams of water. There's my kettle now. Once again, you can use hot water if you wanted to. It's asking me to place the Varoma into position, which I've got here. I should have got some leaking at the bottom, but that doesn't matter. 8 minutes, speed 1. Okay, I'll just get this out of the way. Okay, so what I did, which is a great little tip for you guys to see that, I actually put the baking paper, not, you know how I ripped a little bit off? It was a little bit ripped off too much. A little bit of egg went through, but it's okay because you can see we've got the egg in the top and we're cooking that down. So once that's cooked, I'm just going to sprinkle on some red onion and some spinach and stuff and cook that through. So, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's that. So while that's cooking, I want to show you some other things that we can use our Varoma for. Okay, so just clean up a little bit. Okay. As I said before, we've got these little silicone muffin trays, and they actually sit really nicely inside the Varoma tray. So if you want to do like breakfast muffins or sticky date puddings or anything like that, they're really great to use that for, which is absolutely fantastic. You can also, as I mentioned before, we can do yogurt. So what I like to do when I make my yogurt, I put them in little jars like this. So I mix up the yogurt in my Thermomix, fill these to about 3/4 full, and then they sit in the bottom of the Varoma. So you're going to get about 8 jars to fit in your Varoma to ferment your yogurt overnight, which is great. Also, what we've got coming up is the thermo servers, which most of you would have seen already, which are these. There's another one that's actually a bit smaller than this that actually sits inside your Varoma. So you'll be able to do your yogurt, hot set yogurt in a tub this size and ferment it in your Varoma as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Some great little tips, sterilising baby bottles or foods in here. Dummies on the tray, perfect, it's great. You can cook a roast in your Varoma, which when I first thought that, I thought, get out of here. You can't cook a roast chicken in your Varoma. You actually can. So you steam it, whether it be roast chicken or lamb or pork or whatever you want to do. If you want it then crackly or crunchy on the outside, just blitz it in a hot oven for about 15 minutes and it'll crisp up for you. But it's the most tender, delicious meat. Absolutely amazing. I love doing meatloaf in the Varoma as well. And you can cook your veggies all at the same time, which is great. So another little tip for bulking out your meals, as you've seen, we've used lentils today. You can bulk out with chickpeas. You can bulk out with lentils, any kind of beans at all in your spaghetti, sauces, chop down veggies so they can't even see it, puts it down to next to nothing. And your kids will be eating spinach and zucchini and all that before you even realise. Maybe not even the kids, maybe even some older kids, like grown-up kids. That's always a help to get them eating some more veggies, which is awesome. So I just see a couple of messages there, Marion. What have you got in the chat?
Yes, so we've just got, hang on, let me go back. I'm on my phone, so it's a bit hard to read and look. Donna was just wondering how we access the videos with the new update.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So they're actually part of the recipes, which is great. I'll be showing you those in a little while. But the updates will come through your Cookie Do membership and stream straight through to your Thermomix 6. So the videos are actually part of a lot of the recipes. So when you're doing a recipe, it'll say turn out dough and roll or make dumplings. You push play and it actually shows you how to do it. It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that was I was just explaining. No other questions. I was just saying that the products are available on the Mix Shop, but the thermo servers are only available as a host reward for a cooking experience.
Yeah, and that's a great way to build up your collection of different things that help you with your cooking. We've got some new host rewards starting in October, which give you a whole lot more options. And we also have limited time offers, like sometimes an extra bowl will come up, or an extra thermo server, or we actually have gift cards now in the Mix Shop, which is fantastic with Christmas coming on. So if you want something special for Christmas, drop a hint, put a thing on the fridge, the Mix Shop, with your consultant's names attached, and get the other half to go and spend some money in our Mix Shop, and so you can go and pick out whatever you like, which is absolutely fantastic. Talking about the new functions, there's an egg boiler. Now.
Carmel was just saying she's made boiled eggs.
Awesome, Carmel. So the boiled eggs is fantastic. I love doing that I can boil about 24 eggs in my Varoma. So if I pop, say, I think there's about 12 to 14 in here, and I can fit 8 or so on top. I can fit 4 in my basket. So you can do 2 dozen eggs straight up. With the new egg boiler function, what it does, the eggs actually sit in the bowl. So you can actually you put 6 eggs in there straight out of the fridge, and the blades will actually stop running. So it literally is just boiling the eggs whole, and you can choose, I think there's 5 different functions, whether you want them runny, medium soft, firm soft, or hard, and that will determine how long they have to cook for as well, which is absolutely brilliant. So I'll just swipe it, see if I can swipe across while this is cooking. Well, it's only got 56 seconds to go, so I'll just wait for that bit. Yeah, so I want to show you those as well today. What are some other things that we use the Varoma for? I said sterilising things. I use my Varoma for draining pasta. So I've cooked my pasta in the bowl, and then I get my Varoma out, tip it through, and it drains, which is absolutely brilliant. Draining rice. Also the little basket. So we're going to be adding these chickpeas to our salad. So I use this to drain a lot of kidney beans. If I'm doing rice or anything like that in smaller quantities, I use this basket, or you can use your Varoma, definitely. The Varoma is also great for washing your vegetables, or fruit. So if you bought some strawberries and things and you want to rinse them through, pop them in here, rinse them under the tap, drains beautifully. As I said, baby bottles and things like that. And we're just going to put our topping on. Just bear with me a bit. I'm just going to pop this down. You can see my eggs almost cooked. It's looking very nice. So I'm just going to pop in my spinach, my capsicum, which is there. I'm just going to wilt that down a little bit. So you could put mushrooms or whatever you want really on there. Just going to cook that down a bit. That'll be ready in a couple of minutes. I'm probably only going to give that probably 2 or 3 minutes, which is just enough to wilt that down. So, yeah, before I go on with what I was saying, do you notice how I actually move the dial? So even though it's a cookie dough recipe, I can actually change that up and change the cooking time. So if I found the eggs were bigger than normal and it took a little bit longer, I can push the time and just increase that. If I wanted it to cook a little bit faster, I can increase the speed by pushing on the speed dial and turning the knob. Same when I'm heating up foods or anything like that, I can change the temperature on the Varoma. So I can click on that and turn it down or up depending on what I want to do, which is great, especially if you're cooking manually and you're cooking some of your old favourite recipes and you wanted to convert them to Thermomix, which is absolutely fantastic. So, okay, so what was I saying? Okay, we put our fillings on, baby bottles. If you're cooking jams and things, you can actually steam in here while your jam's cooking in the bottom, which is brilliant. You can do dumplings. So I always steam dumplings, dim sims, fish, salmon, whatever you like. You can do that through your Varoma. You can do an omelette, all sorts of things actually. It's quite, when you think about it, you can just about add anything. So, for example, if I was just cooking a pumpkin soup, just pumpkin soup by itself, I could be cooking some extra veggies or some broccoli or whatever I wanted in here at the same time. So I'm actually using the energy most efficient by cooking things together, which I do often. So a lot of the recipes that'll come up if you're having a family meal, say you're doing chicken, veggies and soup, you could throw in some extra broccoli, extra carrots. You can really bulk out the volume because it holds a lot of food, absolutely a lot of food. Okay, so this is nearly finished. So I just want to show you, I'm going to get our plate. Remember, away from my face, because I don't want a facial, although at the moment it might be nice for a facial because we can't actually go to our facial lady. Next, place reserve filling to cover 1/2 of the omelette. Top with avocado. I don't want to do that because I've already got my filling there. Pop on some cheese. Remember, I said I wanted to use my parmesan. So I'm literally just doing that. And I'm just going to move that back a bit. Now I'm just going to slide this over. Can you see? I'll bring it forward. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using the baking paper. That's okay. And I'm going to be just folding it over like that. Can you see that okay, Marion? And then peel back.
Yes, all good. So
that's my omelette folded. Look how fluffy and beautiful it is.
Is that the souffle omelette, Trace?
No, this is just the plain omelette. So the souffle omelette recipe is absolutely amazing. And I think you use a butterfly as well, so it gets a whole lot higher with the air. So I'm just taking this paper out from underneath. There we go.
Beautiful.
Look at that. I'll just flip it over. Can you see the inside of that?
Yep. Looks
absolutely delicious. So I could whip up some eggs, throw it in my Varoma for an omelette, have a shower, and be done when I get out. Have another look at that. Yum.
Mm.
That's our lunch. So I'm just going to pop that aside, which I'm very excited about. Once again, you can add whatever you wanted. You know, add whatever leftovers and stuff like that, which is fine. Okay, what do we think of the omelette?
I reckon it's looking good. I've just got a question.
Yeah.
Donna's just wondering if Cookie Do has Varoma all-in-one meal recipes.
Absolutely. And it's called, there's
Just
a
having a
collection.
look now.
Yeah, there's a collection called Varoma Cooking, by the way. There's another one, if you want to write this down, there's another one called Fabulous Flavour on Every Level.
Yes.
And that's all layered cooking.
I've got Varoma. Sorry, Tracy interrupted you.
You're right. Also in the Meals in a Flash collection, there's a heap, and also in the Simply Delicious. So those recipes are really good for good old-fashioned family cooking, like the Simply Delicious collection. Every serve in that book is under $5, which is absolutely amazing. The Fabulous Flavour on Every Level is all Varoma. Every dish in that is Varoma, so which is great. There's heaps. There's so many. I wonder if we put in Varoma in Cookie Do if it come up with some. I don't know. But there's lots of different collections there. You can actually save the whole collection, or you can save into your own list, which is great. Okay, so let's go.
I've just had a quick look now. You're going to have a look. I've just had a look on my computer, and there's a few coming up, all dedicated to the just to the Varoma.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to go back to our Moroccan chicken salad. So what I just did then, I just come back to that same recipe I had before. Now it's asking me to add some dried apricots into my bowl, which I'm doing. And once again, just use whatever you've got in your pantry. It's asking me for some mint and coriander. I'm not doing coriander because I hate it. Does anyone else hate coriander? It's one of those things, you either love it or hate it, because to me, it just tastes like soap to me. I don't know why, but it does. It's actually a thing, coriander thing. You either love it or hate it. Okay, spring onions go on top as well. Next, lightly stir pumpkin and chicken to ensure even cooking. So let's have a look at that, shall we? Once again, I lifted it away from my face. I'm going to take the Varoma off, and I'm going to show you the chicken and the pumpkin. So see how I use the bottom as a drip tray all the time? That's my chicken and pumpkin. And all it does, when it's saying lightly stir, it's asking me just to move it around, just to make sure it's evenly cooked, which I'm doing there. So that chicken was chicken breast. You can use whatever you like. I generally like 5 when I'm cooking mostly other things, but put Varoma back in place and cook for another 7 minutes. So I'm just going to flip these over. Actually almost cooked this chicken, which is absolutely beautiful. Okay. Now that's going to cook for 7 minutes to finish cooking the pumpkin and the chicken together. So while it's doing that, I'm just going to tidy up a little bit. If you haven't got Cookie Do, or you have, go on there while you're on this call, jump onto your phone or something, cookidoo.com.au and check out some of the recipes. They're absolutely brilliant. Okay, just bear with me a sec. I'm just going to make some room on top as well. So some of the other things we do in our Varoma is, I've got a helper here. He doesn't want to get on the camera, but it's my good friend Jodie. She's amazing. We couldn't do these without the people. It's like a production thing at the back of this house because I want to get the most out of this. I want, you know, you're coming to spend an hour and 15 minutes with me. I want to show you the most I possibly can in that time. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. So once again, we talked about omelettes. Another great recipe, which is one that you can write down, is called the chicken velouté. What that does, it cooks steamed chicken, cooks vegetables, and makes a sweetened potato and leek soup and a sauce to go over the chicken all at the same time. Absolutely brilliant. That is probably one of my go-to recipes. I just change up the ingredients. Like the recipe says zucchini and carrot, but generally I'll do broccoli, zucchini, carrot. I'll throw in a corn cob or something like that, and it's absolutely beautiful. Now, the secret of getting the cooking ratios right, for example, a corn on the cob is going to take a lot longer than a broccoli floret. So what I do is I would cook my corn for the first 5 or 6 minutes, then I would add the broccoli just onto the tray in the last 2 to 3 minutes when it's cooking. Depends how you like your vegetables. I like mine almost raw, basically, so which is the way I like mine. So I'm just going to wash out a Varoma here so I can show you how the yogurt jars and that can sit in the bottom of the tray so you can ferment your own yogurt and things like that. Okay, so I've got these jars. And we've also got some with the red. You can get them from the reject shop here or Treasure Hunters. They're like little preserving jars and they've got a little red lid. They're about, I think they're about 250 ml. I've used those as well for doing yogurts, which is absolutely fantastic. And they can all sit up, but if you've got too many, you can actually lay 1 or 2 down and it's not going to matter because it's going to set. It's not going to leak out, which is fantastic. As I mentioned before, sterilising jars for jams and things like that, absolutely brilliant. So here's a Varoma. So we're just going to recap. Muffin trays and things literally just sit in the bottom. So what you could do, you could actually have one here. You could then put another one on top or small patty pans on top and then put the lid on. Because the lid has this rise, it actually does sit securely with that on the top tray. So you could do a dozen sticker date puddings or a dozen egg and bacon muffins, or you could do them both at the same time. It's entirely up to you. Another thing I love to use is the silicone patty pans that you buy just from the supermarket. They're really good. Or paper ones. It's up to you what you want. So for our yogurt jars that we mentioned before, literally, they just sit in top. So you'd make your yogurt in your Thermomix and you would put your jars in here and it fits about 8. They come in a pack of 8 on the mix shop and you literally ferment them like that. So this is a great one I do overnight. So I'll set it up before I go to bed in the morning. I just take these little jars out. I take one with me because I go to work and I can put it straight in the fridge when I get to work. And the others I just pop in the fridge ready for when I want to use them. Great for kids or for that single serve. Another little tip I do is because I only fill these sort of 3/4 full, I make my own coulis. Like I like a rhubarb and strawberry one where I cook it down like a compote and I put that on the top or on the bottom. It's absolutely beautiful. So I just seen the beautiful Jenna Martin mention that she's only had her Thermomix for about a week and she's made the yogurt. So really happy about that, Jenna. I'm glad you're loving it. Okay, So that's a couple of things you can use your Varoma for. Do we have any other ideas in the chat that people can offer me that maybe we haven't covered? Okay. So, we've got 1 minute left on that. This is our steamed cheesecake. So with this recipe, I steamed it in the cake tin, which is a spring-form tin, and these are available through the mix shop as well. All our bakeware is absolutely amazing. So you can see I've got these little parchments. So they're actually made, pre-cut, and you buy them ready to go in. So no more guessing, no more wasting baking paper. I just use these. You can also get them for the Varoma with holes in them already, which is really good, or you can get some without holes. So I actually haven't ordered mine yet, but I'm definitely going to. So this little cheesecake, all I would do is now pop this in the fridge until it cools down. Then I'm going to make a mango coulis, like a mango compote, to go over the top and serve that for dinner. So quick and easy. So we've gone from main meals to breakfast, dessert, cake, yogurt, sterilising babies' bottles, you name it. The Varoma can definitely do that for you. Okay, that was pretty good timing, wasn't it?
Grace, quick question before you do that one. Those steamed cheesecakes, I'm just putting the recipes up for people in the chat. What was the steamed cheesecake one?
It's a white chocolate steamed cheesecake.
No worries. I'll look for that one. Thank you.
Yeah. I think I put on the filters in the Cookadoo, if you go into filters and click English and unclick Australia, you'll get all the English recipes in the world, which is absolutely brilliant. So that's one of those. Okay, but I used the Oreo biscuits in the base.
Tracy.
Yeah.
Can I just add to your bit? I've found that if you take everything off the filters and you're using your computer or something that's got Google Translate, you can translate every recipe into English. The only thing is the Tamex doesn't recognise it, but I just put my computer on my bench, and if it's a recipe, and then I can follow it in English. So you can actually, if you've got like Google Assistant, translate. Which if you're in Google, I think it does it anyway. So that's something that's pretty special, that you can actually access every recipe you want.
Absolutely. And that's fantastic to know. Thank you. Because they're all authentic. Like if we want Chinese, French, they're all authentic recipes. So you're cooking the real deal. So that's a great tip. Thank you very much.
The same with the collections as well. So
yeah, and the collections too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So it's now asking us to put our salad together. Remove Varoma and transfer chicken and pumpkin and couscous into the serving bowl with the salads. So let's see about that. We've got them here. So the couscous goes in. So I literally just lifted the tray and it fell in. The chicken and the pumpkin go in. So a good little tip, just have a quick look and make sure that your chicken's completely cooked, which it definitely is. That goes in. And we're just going to mix it around a little bit, not too much. Just going to mix it. So the spinach comes out on top. I wish I could have smell-o-vision here right now because it smells amazing. Okay, just give that a little mix. And because the chicken's warm, it's actually starting to wilter the spinach, which is great. Now I'm just going to put little dobs of this dressing in. As I said before, if you wanted to, you could put a bit more oil through that dressing if you wanted it more like a dressing. This is more like a pesto type addition to the salad. Oh, it looks amazing. Another little tip, which is what I did last time I made this, I actually, before I added the chicken and the pumpkin, I actually just put the sun-dried tomato dressing. I mixed it through the chicken first before I added it to the salad, and it was absolutely delicious. So can you see that okay? Yum.
Getting hungry.
Yeah. So this recipe is the Moroccan chicken and couscous salad, and we've got our soup still to come. So I almost forgot that we were cooking soup at the same time. Isn't that amazing? Okay, insert measuring cup. Turn speed to 4, gradually increasing to speed 7. Okay. We're blending the soup now, people. We're actually mixing the soup up. I'm just manually turning this up as we go. Transfer soup into a thermal serving bowl. Which I've got here. Now you can have this as thick or as thin as you like. Because I used the full litre and a bit more of water, it's quite a liquidy soup. If you wanted it more thick, like thicker, just reduce your water steaming down to about 700 grams, 700 ml. Okay. How's that for, can you see that? Oh no. That is like as smooth as silk. And there we have 2 litres of sweet potato and pumpkin, no, sweet potato and carrot I used because I didn't have enough sweet potato soup, which we've just done. So, salt and pepper, and serve. So before I show you our finished products for today, I want to show you the clean function and some of the new functions of the Thermomix. So I'm just going to swipe across. On the screen now, you'll see all different little round bits. Hope you can see them all right. And they're all the different functions of the Thermomix. So I'm going to do the pre-clean. So I'm going to put pre-clean. And it's going to ask me on here what I need to clean it for. Is it dough? Have I made bread? If so, it just automatically tells me I need to clean it at 37 degrees. Is it browning? Have I sauteed or caramelised some onions and need to really get that browning off the bottom? It will ask me that. So we'll go push that down. All I'm going to do is put about 500 grams of water in here. I'm going to put a drop, literally a drop of dishwashing liquid. Universal, the general clean. If I keep turning it, I can go browning, I can go fats, I can do whatever I want. It just depends on what the dial is. So I'm just going to do that universal, and it's going to pre-clean itself, which is awesome. So I use this function exactly like I am today. I'll cook my dinner, I'll have it sitting there doing its thing while I'm serving up the meal. So bear with me a second, I'll go and get all our goodies.
I made some scones yesterday and used the pre-clean for the dough, and it was amazing how much cleaner the bowl was. It works really, really well. I haven't used it for anything else, just for the dough. And that's great.
Yep.
Yeah, no around the blades.
Oh, that's awesome. Absolutely fantastic. So what I've also got here, I've got a tin of chickpeas, which when I serve up mine, I'm just going to turn this around so you can see me. when I serve up mine, I will add these chickpeas to my serve. But I know Hayley will go off ahead if she realises there are chickpeas in there. But she doesn't know that I do blitz them down in spaghetti and all sorts of things. But if she can see them, we're better off not to do it. So there's my chickpeas I'm going to add later on. But you all got fussy kids at home. Although mine are pretty good, I must say. They're pretty good. Okay. So, where's our omelette? Look at this. Look at that. That's amazing. So, just want to recap for you. Can you see them okay? I'll just see if I can move them. Actually, I'll go this way. Yep, that's our salad. There's our soup. And there's our omelette. So we've managed that within, how long? An hour and 10 minutes, but I think we started a little bit late anyway. So what do we think? Are people going to use their Varoma a little bit more? I definitely hope I've given you some inspiration and some different ideas to work out how you're going to use it. I'm just going to flip over to the other screen now. Okay. So, what are we thinking? How's the chat going? I can see there's lots of things being put in there, which is awesome. I'll just have a quick look. Yep, great. So Rachel and Donna have got some great tips. Marianne, thank you so much for putting all those links in the chat. That was absolutely fantastic. The yogurt was easy. Great, Jenna. Yep, this is the omelette recipe. Great. Have a look on Cookie Do and reach out to your consultants if you need any help at all or any inspiration. Keep your eye on their Facebook pages. They'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on in Thermomix world. We've got some fantastic host reward changes coming up next month, which is absolutely amazing. And we've got a little friend coming, which I am off my head. I am so excited. Instead of having 2 Thermomixes, well, you can have 2 if you want. I've got 2, but anyway. There'll be like a little friend. So it'll be a bowl and a base, and it will Bluetooth on to this Thermomix with all your Cookie Do recipes. So you can have, so you know how today I was sort of flipping between the 2. With my friend, it's going to just sit here on the side. So I could be steaming that omelette while I'm cooking my soup and veggies, or vice versa. So that's going to be an absolutely gem when that comes through. So once again, thank you all for joining me. Have a look at all those new functions on your Thermomix, which are absolutely fantastic. So the egg boiler, there's a warm-up mode. So if you just want to warm up some soup, you can choose whatever temperature you want, which is fantastic when you're cooking for kids or elderly. Same thing if you're cooking like, you know, if you're making a ganache, like with some chocolate, when you finish that, don't rinse out the bowl. Put some milk in it, turn it up to about 70 degrees, and you've got yourself a hot chocolate while you're cleaning the bowl, so, which is brilliant. Okay, I'm going to sign off for now. So once again, please reach out to me, your consultant, or anybody about the love of Thermomix. We'd love to do some demos with you in person if you want to, when we're allowed to. Otherwise, if you want to do a private one-on-one, reach out to your consultant, and we're more than happy to help you out with that as well. So, as I said, thank you for coming, and I hope you have a great Saturday. It's just started to pour rain here, that's for sure. So, okay. See you, everyone.
Thanks very much.
It's a pleasure. It's good to see you all. I've missed everybody. Which hopefully we'll be able to do these in person soon. Won't that be awesome? We're going to do like some cook-alongs or something like that, which would be absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Awesome. I see Geraldine on there too. Okay. I might just...
Yep. Sorry. I joined so late. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. We'll talk soon, Jerry.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.